Mr. Fantastic cause of money like elastic. Burberry trench coat, you smoke oregano, I'm smoking on Nick Cat. I'm gonna be real, you know, when I with my girl, she said too big, I done met this.
King James is the king. He's the greatest player we've ever seen. He's the most talented player in our game. And everybody gets swept up into this hysteria to crown him just because he's the three-time MVP, while conveniently forgetting the giant glaring asterisk that you just tossed off a second ago. You just touched and went on. And that is that the most talented player in the game in 4 of the last 5 playoffs has flamed out as spectacularly or unspectacularly as any great player we have ever seen. I'm not talking about one flame out, chosen one turning into frozen one. I'm talking about 4 out of the last 5 years. I'm talking about at the end of his 4th year against the San Antonio Spurs in the NBA Finals, Stephen A. You were there and you witnessed what happened. That was against the unathletic San Antonio Spurs, and LeBron James was pathetic, shooting 35% from the field in that series, made 69% of his free throws, 20% from 3.
You said that you know, he's not the next MJ. Have you ever heard LeBron say that he wanted to be the next MJ?
All he did was choose to wear number 23 and choose to carry on the powder throwing routine.
Don't you think any kid
yes,
that
he thought he was
age
better.
would want to wear Jordan's number because
he
thought he was better?
He thought he was ready to outdo Michael Jordan. That's what he thought coming in. Trust me on this.
Why do you hate LeBron?
I like LeBron.
You hate LeBron.
I do not. I think he's actually a very nice guy. In fact, I think he's too nice of a guy.
Okay.
You know, I wish he had a little more basketball killer in him. I don't think he has enough. Then against the Orlando Magic, after he hit the shot of the century to win the earlier game, the last game of that series, Game 6, to get it back to a Game 7 at Cleveland, you remember this? He was pathetic in that game. And then against the Boston Celtics in Games 5 and 6.
In Game 5.
Okay, but both of them.
Game 5.
Both of them.
Now,
5 and 6.
He almost had a triple-double in Game 6.
Okay, but he was
Game
still,
5
it was still not
game.
LeBron performance. That was pathetic, and you know it. And this is the spoiled brat product of those billions of witnesses out there. This is the guy I've been talking about as he's been the front-running bully all year long, and he finally got punched right in the mouth, and he ran to the locker room in shame. I have been saying for months on this show that all this picture taking and the posing and the flexing, it just doesn't show any class to the game on the court or to his opponents, to me. And it finally all caught up with him, because I think the MVP suddenly realized when the clock ran out that he had failed miserably. My man, Tim Duncan, won 5 rings with only 1 finals loss thanks to Ray Allen. After LeBron James down the stretch turned it over 3 times in the last 3 minutes, missed the tying 3, long rebound, Chris Bosh, boom, into the corner to Ray Allen. Money. LeBron James is the most protected superstar in sports history, that he was allowed to get away with what he did yesterday.
What did he do?
He sat there for, how long did it go? Maybe an hour? It seemed like it went on an hour.
Well, he walk out, you get mad. He give you a conversation for an hour, you get mad. What you want from him?
I didn't get mad. It just turns my stomach when all these blind witnesses, like, try to delude themselves and the basketball public into believing that LeBron James is better than Michael Jeffrey Jordan. Who would win a one-on-one game between those two?
Michael Jordan's 85.
LeBron James. He should have taken that game over. Okay,
you don't make any sense. You're
now
not
let's get to just last year. And you've been on this soapbox all year long. Games 4, 5, and 6 against the Dallas Mavericks, disappeared, ran from the basketball, wanted no part of the pressure of trying to close out an inferior Dallas Mavericks team. And Dan Gilbert accused LeBron James of quitting in the last 3 losses to the Boston Celtics, which effectively ended, obviously, LeBron's
Well, we know
run
that
in
didn't
Cleveland.
happen to us, Skip.
Well, that's what he accused him of. And members of LeBron's inner circle leaked news that was broken on ESPN that LeBron had to be sedated before a couple of those games because of a locker room issue with another teammate. So just for the record, I thought that was a bunch of baloney, but he got tattooed across his own back, chosen one in high school.
Tell me the lie in that tattoo.
He chose to wear number 23 as in making a huge statement, I got next, Michael, right? He chose to wear that number.
Yeah.
Okay, that nobody else
forced him to wear that, right?
Maybe he liked the number.
And then he's so lived up to it that he's about to be tonight 3-6 in NBA Finals. I'm not sure that's living up. Really?
I thought it showed even less class to duck the media after the game than to duck Dwight Howard's handshake, because he left the guys he had called all along his complimentary players to face the music after the game. No class there and no class on the court. Didn't surprise me.
So all I ever hear is what LeBron does, but nobody wants to bring up what he didn't do, where he miserably failed. May I count the ways? You've watched
his
closely.
third year in the league, he failed.
Well,
the third year in the league, he failed.
Last year in Cleveland against Boston, second round of the playoffs, it was, where did LeBron go? He disappeared. His entourage had to put out the story that he was medicated.
Wait a minute.
So then LeBron left Dan Gilbert, and he took his talents to South Beach, and he joined forces with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and Pat Riley.
Right.
And what happened right away? What happened in the first finals?
They lost.
LeBron melted down the way we've never seen a superstar melt down in the history of sports. The guy that people are saying is the best player on the planet revealed himself to be the mentally weakest superstar we've ever seen. Would that have been Kobe? Would Kobe have allowed that to happen in an NBA Finals?
No, Kobe.
You know and I know
Kobe
it would not have happened.
Kobe would just blow a 3-1 lead to Phoenix. But hold on.
You're saying he's a first ballot Hall of Famer just because he's about to be a three-time MVP?
Skip Bayless.
Are you kidding me?
Just recline in your grandfather's chair and sip on some latte or something and just listen.
Yeah, I don't think
He had 9 turnovers, so I'll give you that.
Hold on.
He was a disaster in the fourth quarter of that game. A disaster.
Okay, we're going to leave it right
I
there.
watched it with these two lazy repaired eyes.
27, 19,
Oh,
and 10.
please.
How was that awful?
You know what happened in that fourth quarter.